July 8th, 2027. After Henry's death, we decided that enough was enough. We had lost so many good engines. Gordon, Henry, Rebecca, Salty, Emily, everyone. We are getting sick and tired of this nightmare. We just cannot take it anymore. We decided to make a plan to head to Crovan's Gate. Because we believe that the zombies have gone there and they are roaming around Crovan's Gate. And also some of the zombies were also and Thomas also realized that some of the zombies were guarding the works where Charlie was in, because he remembered that before he took his passenger train, he had to take Charlie to the works for routine maintenance. Just then, as they were about to make a plan, they heard a helicopter and a vehicle. At first, they were gonna go into combat mode, but thank God, it wasn't an enemy or a zombie. It was just the Sodor military. The military asked us what we were doing, and we said that they were gonna head up to Crovan's Gate and potentially save Charlie. And the military said that's what they were going to do. They were going to head up to Crovan's Gate and save the survivors that were there. We asked them who were the survivors. They said that Charlie wasn't the only one to have survived. They said that Winston, including including Sir Topham Hatt, who was the controller of the railway, had also survived. But he was also but they also had Victor and Freddie, who had also survived. Soon, we decided to make a plan. First, Oliver would be in front. He would have Isabel, Dulcie, Alice, Mirabelle, and Toad. We decided to put Scruffy at the back. We decided to put Scruffy in the front. Since he is a truck, we're gonna need a truck for protection. Scruffy was very nervous about this, but Oliver promised that he wasn't going to leave him to die. Next, Oliver would be accompanied by a truck and James. And finally, last but not least, it would be Thomas, Annie, Clarabelle, and Van and Bruno. All right, we're ready to head down to Crovan's Gate and finish this once and for all. And finally, last but not least, Nia, Edward, Harvey, Percy, and Kana would stay here. In case we need backup, we would send one of the engines to go back and call them. Right, let's go. And also, not only that, the military helicopter would stay here and protect the survivors at Wellsworth. And also the military vehicle would go with Thomas, James, and Oliver to fight off the zombies. And in case we need backup, we will send one of them to bring the rest to Crovan's gate. As we neared Crovan's gate, we saw a large crowd of zombies on the tracks. But Oliver and Scruffy managed to get through them like it was nothing. But unfortunately, Scruffy derailed in the process. But this also caused Oliver to derail in the process. James saw this and had to take Toad and the auto coaches back. As soon as the auto coaches were taken back, James and Thomas went back. James and Thomas entered Crovan's gate like it was nothing. But unfortunately, once they entered Crovan's gate, all hell broke loose. There were zombies everywhere, and the military and workmen were fighting the horde. Bam, bam. Some of the soldiers were fighting with the workmen while others were gunning down anybody they saw. At first we were going to wait back until it ended, but that's if the military would work with us, perhaps they... At first we were going to wait back until it ended, but that's if the military was working with the workmen, perhaps they would work with us. So we charged into battle. And as soon as we saw the zombified Gordon, James went into battle with him. James managed to knock the zombified Gordon off the tracks like he did during the escape, while we escaped from Brendam. As the survivors and As the survivors hopped out of Annie, Clarabelle, the van, and Bruno, a zombie crept up behind Bob Lenson and almost bit him, but thankfully, a soldier shot the zombie before Bob got bit. We managed to take out the zombies, and the military didn't gun us down. Some of the soldiers said that they would kill every last one of us, but we would overpower them due to the lack of men they had. We asked them to see if they had reinforcements on the way. They said they requested for them, but they never came. Thomas then remembered the engines and Sir Topham Hatt that were in the works, so we decided to go check on them. There was Victor, Freddie, Sir Topham Hatt, Winston, and Charlie alive and well. Suddenly, the zombified Gordon used its tendrils to get itself back onto the rails. Then, it suddenly got Thomas. Ah! Help me! Get this thing off me! Everyone was horrified, and just as things couldn't get any worse, they heard a horn. Beep, beep. And then the zombified Gordon used its tendrils to turn around. And there we saw a zombified Philip. We saw a zombie-infected Philip. It seems that he had awakened from the siding that he died on. And so as soon as Gordon and Philip saw each other, they started fighting each other. Soon Philip and Gordon were fighting each other. And soon, that's when we saw this as an opportunity to save everyone. We managed to get Winston and Sir Topham Hatt out of there. And they went to Wellsworth. We told them to go to Wellsworth because that was the only safest place. Thomas went over there and saved Charlie, and then told Charlie to go to Wellsworth because that was the only safe place. But then the zombified Philip bumped Gordon. "Thomas, look out!" said James as he bumped Thomas. But unfortunately, they were both met with coming off the tracks. And then the zombified Philip then went to the siding where Victor and Freddie were on. And then oh God, Victor, no. No! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! Don't kill me! Then Philip was about to go for Thomas and James when a whistle was heard, and then Harvey came racing in. Boom. Harvey then bumped the zombified Philip off the tracks. Then a military helicopter then arrived and then fired a missile. James and Thomas were terrified, but then Harvey then hustled and put Thomas and James back on the tracks before the missile got to them. And they got out. They were just in time. And then boom, 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 boom. There was a big fire, and we saw that the remains of Philip, Freddie, and Victor were on fire, and most worst of all, Gordon was on fire. But then we saw that the fire was spreading, and it was heading toward them. Oh no, my coaches! Then James went in one last time, and then saved Bruno, Annie, Clarabelle, and the van. And there they watched the works. They watched the Crovan's Gate works burn to the ground, with the remains of Philip, Gordon, Freddie, and Victor. But at least the nightmare was finally over. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, knowing that the nightmare was finally over. Hello? Is anybody gonna put us back on the tracks or what? Oh. Sorry. Anyways, let's get you back on the tracks. Okay. Harvey, and soon enough, Harvey had put Scruffy and Oliver back on the tracks. Come on, let's go back to Wellsworth so we can mourn the loss of loved ones. Later. But before the engines could even mourn, the military unfortunately told them to go somewhere else, because they had to leave Sodor until they can stop the infection and clean up what's left of Sodor and the mainland. And so everyone left. And then a year later, which was January 1st, 2028, which was New Year, everyone came back. Today is a sad day on the island of Sodor. The infection from the disease is finally gone after a year cleaning up the island. Now we would like to mourn for the loss of loved ones through these dark times. We also found out that the creature that was roaming around was Gordon, the NWR number 4. Now, without further ado, we would like to take a moment of silence to those that we have lost. Rest peacefully. You are in God's hands now. This was a nightmare that all of the engines that survived would hope to forget forever. The end. The Apocalypse of Sodor. Written and created by me. Based on Sodor Thunderstrike by Pigler the Man 125 and Sodor Left for Dead 1 and 2 by Shanks. I do not owe all the characters. All characters belong to their respective owners. And also, I would like to thank everyone for watching the entire series. I hope you liked it. And stay strong, good, and healthy. Until next time.